For many years now, Russ and Craig have had many wide-ranging conversations with folks from all over the gaming world. This is one of those conversations.
D6G, The Lost Chapter.
Hey, and welcome back to Dunkin' Donuts. You know, I came here expecting to see Craig, but he's not here. But Raef,
Craig.
Raef, you're right here by yourself.
I decided I could use some decaf coffee and one of those holiday stars.
Those holiday stars are good. How do they get them in the shape of stars? That's what I want to know.
I used to work at a Dunks. I don't know. How do they?
I guess they cut them out. But you know, here's the thing. The star ones are like Boston cream because they put the cream filling in the middle. But instead of the chocolate on top, they put the nice vanilla sort of icing with a little bit of usually some sprinkles or something on there. And it's pretty tasty.
Yeah, I like those sprinkles because they're kind of crunchy.
Plus, it tastes like plus it's shaped like a star, so there's more edges. It tastes better.
You're like dropping all sorts of poundage and stuff too. What's your secret when you eat a holiday star? Do you figure you just nothing? You just track it and then
counts,
that's it, or do you like walk
as,
an extra mile or something?
Well, so like literally like so I take my daughter to riding lessons every Saturday morning, horseback riding lessons. And
cool. So she rides you like a horse, and that's how you get all your calories?
Sadly, no. She actually rides a real horse. But what I do then on the way back to the house, we stop at Dunkin' Donuts because it's literally the only food because he rides in Hollis, New Hampshire. And for those who don't know, there's like nothing in Hollis, New Hampshire except for farms and horses.
And one Dunks.
And one Dunkin' Donuts.
In a gas station.
Yes. Oh, actually, it's in an old bank, actually. So you pull in there, and it's a full-functioning Dunkin' Donuts just at a bank, which is sort of strange. But she and I split a donut. So she'll get a drink, I'll get a drink, and then we split one donut. And then I do count the calories. So this usually, I'll split a donut, and then we get home, I'll make some scrambled eggs or something for us, and so I'll have eggs and half a donut. It's basically
okay. So you just keep track of the calories.
It just counts against what you're gonna,
It's been working for you.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's been working pretty well. I'm down 110 pounds over the past 3 years.
Holy Toledo!
Over 3 years,
I've gained it.
But I bounced up. I've been bouncing up and down around my ideal weight now, or a little north of my ideal weight. It doesn't look it. So. Well, thank you.
You know how like when people lose weight and then they gain it back, you don't look like that.
Oh,
so
I'm glad.
Maybe it's thin. Maybe you're gaining it, but it's.
Well, I'm really religious about monitoring it now. So I'm like that annoying thin guy who's like, I just gained a pound last week. It's so stressful. I'm that guy now because I'm like,
well, it's probably taking you a long time to get there. So.
Right, exactly. Well, it hasn't been so long that I've forgotten how hard it was. It's pretty much the scoop.
I have a new philosophy in life. I call it the eat, live, love diet, and I'm not trying to like gain weight or anything, but I'm just sort of tired of worrying about it.
You got to enjoy life. You do have to enjoy life, and that's
I mean, at some point I'll probably have to pay the piper, but for now I'm just like whatever.
Well, that's what I like about just tracking it is because if I really want a pizza, I still can't eat the entire thing, but I can have pizza. There's no rule like you can't have carbs or you can never eat a donut. It's not that. It's just if you eat a donut or a cupcake, that's pretty much your lunch because it's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do that, and then if I do go over, I record it all, and the next day I just keep up. But anyway, we're not here to talk about my diet. No,
no.
Excited to have you on the show, Raef, because you and I get to talk about video games when Craig is not around. And since he's not here,
Craig was, he was coming to Dunks, but we made him pause, and now he's playing a game, and we're at Dunks.
So that's fair. And so, and since video games, so what do you want to talk about, Raef? I've been playing the heck out of Dragon Age: The Inquisition, so I'd love to talk about that. But what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the revelation. I don't know if you've even listened to I kind of mentioned it in my last Hollywood Minute. I know. Yeah. Did you hear what I said in there?
Which one? I guess you have so many insightful comments. Sometimes it's hard to keep all straight.
Yes, I know. Well, I don't even think it's aired yet, to be fair. So,
okay, fair enough.
I think I'm going to go PS4.
You are? Really?
Yeah.
Now, why are you leaning towards the PS4?
Well,
despite the fact, let's just now, is this you feel bad for Sony getting hacked and you want to
you were going to bring up
save them? Or do you want to rebel against them and say, you're caving into terrorist threats. I don't want to support you.
No. See, I knew you'd bring that up, but we'll table that for now.
All right, fair enough.
That's a new development.
Right.
So
okay.
What people have to realize is that I think the original Xbox 360 owners were me and you, and I don't know who else.
Well, lots of people because it sold very well.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, among our games group.
Oh, sure. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So most people had the original Xbox, and Russ calls me up one day and he's like, you have to go out and get the 360. And I'm like, this is important to the story. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of money and, my Xbox is perfectly good. He's like, you're like, nope, you don't understand. You need to go. The water effects, the trees. I feel like I'm in a dungeon because it was Skyrim. Remember?
It was before Skyrim. It was actually Oblivion.
There we go. Sorry.
It was Oblivion's
part of the Skyrim
with Patrick
lore.
Stewart, it turned out Patrick Stewart was only in like the first 10 minutes of the game. But it's like, Patrick Stewart is in Oblivion.
Yeah. And you were like, they've gotten to know Russ over the years. And Russ was like, oh my God, Raef, you got to see like the grass looks like grass. And it's like so incredible. Yeah. And we don't have to worry about PCs and updating drivers. Right. It's the best thing ever.
Yes.
So I bought it and I was not let down.
See?
That box was and still is the best thing ever.
Now, here's the thing. So
I'm not done with my story.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the one comes out months and months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm that guy that runs right out and gets it.
Sure.
I'm that guy. And I just have this inner voice that says, nope, don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm still playing The Walking Dead, which I can't transfer over. Maybe I'm still playing Wolf Among Us, which I can't transfer over.
Right.
Maybe I look at the exclusive title Titanfall. I'm not a huge first-person shooter. Game looked fun.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so there was no call to arms. Now you and Matt and Adam and Dave Farr and Andy, all my gaming friends are on the Xbox One.
We are, because we're awesome.
So
it's a great platform, though. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So, because this is a true story too. So I wouldn't say you've been resisting to it. You just haven't been called to it. Okay.
There you go.
So
I might even be resistant to it.
So and lately I've been noticing that you've been having a lot of adventures on Twitter. So that's how I know this, around trying to record video from your PC.
Oh my God, such a nightmare.
And it was funny because recently you got Dragon Age Inquisition, and I saw you posting that you're having all kinds of problems with drivers and getting it to work and on your PC, and was everything updated?
No, I didn't have problems.
Yep.
I ran into the situation where finally my doghouse PC needed to be upgraded.
Yeah, well, it's only like
I was on Vista.
Yeah.
And Dragon Age Inquisitions would not run. It needed Windows 7,
right?
Which I didn't pay attention to,
right?
And it needed it needed a better,
right?
I had a dual processor. It needs a quad core.
The bane
processor.
of the PC gamer, the fact that you have to constantly up. Now, if you're a PC guy and you love to upgrade, then that's not a bane. But for those more casual gamers, like maybe Raef, it's a challenge to always keep your PC up to speed, right? So you ran into that, and then it was kind of surprised to see you were trying to also do screen captures and either stream to Twitch or some other video streaming service, and you're running into challenges there. And I realized, I'm like, Raef, I think I even tweeted to you, I said, the Xbox One, I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I did nothing except for, insert a disc. In fact, you don't have to buy a disc. You can just download it directly online, like Steam. And then second of all...
You predicted that way back then when, remember?
I know. It should be a prediction for this show, but I don't think I did. And then the second part about that's really cool is it actually makes video streaming a piece of cake.
Now I see that it does streaming, but I'm not trying to stream. I'm trying to record video. Does it do that?
Yeah. The one I posted to you the other day, it records it. You can save it to your hard drive.
Oh, you can.
You can put it right.
I thought it only did streaming.
No, you can put it right in your OneDrive, for example, and then you can actually take your OneDrive file and do whatever you want with it. You can upload it to YouTube. You can do whatever you want. It's fantastic, and I played around with it before. It's really easy to use. And what's cool about it too, Raef, is you're playing, right? And if you got to connect, for example, let's say, how many times does this happen to you? Like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed, right? And I'm in Black Flag, and I'm in the sailing ship, and I'm sailing along, and there's this great moment where it's just the right moment. The sun's just setting just right, and the giant whale comes out of the water and splashes across the deck. And just on the horizon is the enemy boat starting to fire. I'm like, what a cool scene. I wish I was recording that. Well, in the Xbox, you can say, Xbox, record that, and it goes back the last 30 seconds and takes that and then keeps going.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you just miss something, and then it makes the file or whatever. And I did that too in Dragon Age. I was playing Dragon Age, and I'm walking down, and all of a sudden I see this giant dragon fighting a giant. Like, and this is just fighting each other. I'm like, what the? I'm like, that is awesome. So I start recording it, and just like, I got to make a movie out of this, and recorded it, and then shared it on Xbox. So it's like really simple. So I thought you'd like that. But so you're saying that now, though, for some reason, you're getting this siren call to the PS4.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I heard Romeo on the show.
By the way, Ryan's calling you out for still having Vista on the chat room here. He's saying, really? Vista?
Yeah.
I think he's laughing at you, actually. That's what I'm seeing. Nice, Ryan.
So Romeo was mentioning, did he get the Xbox One and regretted it and wished he had the PS4?
No, did he? I don't remember that.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
I don't know if he got it or
He
if
may
he
have.
just got the PS4.
He might have got the PS4. I will say
was talking about that.
The PS4 is
And-
selling better than the Xbox One, that's for sure.
Yeah, and a podcaster I listened to on Comic Dorks, he has the Xbox One and regretted it and wished he got the PS4. And I was reading the comparisons in Game Informer, and I'm looking back and I'm like, well, I play more of the games that I want to play, like Last Among Us. Is that what it's called? Yeah. In Uncharted. And there have been titles that I read in Game Informer magazine that I'm like, oh, that looks really right up my alley. Nope, can't get it. PS exclusives.
I don't think there's too many of that this time around. But I will say this. The PS4 is selling better, and for a variety of reasons. I think now, over the last, since fall, and since they cut the Xbox prices now, Xbox is actually doing, this last quarter, I think you're going to find it selling better than the PS4. And Ryan likes the PS4. So a lot of people like the PS4. I just still find, one, I am a network guy. I have never liked the PlayStation Network. I just think it's implemented extremely poorly. I have always felt, I've argued about their security issues way before the more recent stuff has been a problem.
Yep.
And I just don't have a lot of faith they can keep their network up and running. And
Well, here, I'm going to address all those.
they don't have a clear vision either. I mean, PlayStation Home was about the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And people laughed at the Xbox avatars. That was nothing on how stupid Home was. I'm sorry. It was dumb. Now, PS4, it's corrected all that. They kind of threw all that out. And to be fair, the Xbox kind of threw out all the avatars too. They're barely there now in the Xbox One. But I still love how Microsoft does networking, and I use it. And the best thing about Microsoft is the fact the entertainment system. I use it exclusively as my entertainment now. I watch no other videos or anything except for how the Xbox One works. And my mother, it finally solved the biggest problem for me, which is I want one device that can go seamlessly from television, actual television, live broadcast television, right to streaming audio from Netflix, right to YouTube seamlessly. And so that my mother-in-law, who is in her 60s, can do this.
Yep.
And the Xbox One does all that.
Well, that's my concern.
And so I love that.
I do like Xbox Live.
Yes, all hail the Microsoft
I do like
Awards. Thank you.
Xbox's security. I like arcade.
Yes.
I enjoy a lot of titles off of arcade. And I haven't done the research if Sony has the equivalent of arcade.
They do. They have the PlayStation Network has. So here's the thing. Microsoft did screw up bad. And the biggest screw up they made was not being backward compatible. And I know Sony's not backward compatible either.
That's the other thing that's really bothering me.
Yeah,
if it was backwards compatible,
I know. If it was
I'd have a tougher choice.
If it was backward compatible, I think it'd be a no-brainer. Now, Sony's not either.
It would almost be a no-brainer because I'd be tied in,
Right.
that actual term of tying. I'd be tied to this.
Sony's not either, which is fine, except they didn't dominate. I know I'm going to get hate mail for this, but Sony did not dominate the last generation like Microsoft did.
No, they did not dominate.
Especially in arcade. And I have all these arcade. In fact, in my basement right now, I have an Xbox 360.
Yep.
And I have an Xbox 360 in my bedroom. So one time I had one in my bedroom, one in my basement, because again, I have no cable. So one in my bedroom, one in my basement for television, and then I have the Xbox One in my living room. Now, my kids still have the play on the 360
they
downstairs.
play Castle Crashers
because,
on that.
Right. All the arcade games are still down there. And they've
My
also
son
got
plays bobblehead football on
right.
that.
I would love. I like the Xbox One's speed on video so much better. I'd love to upgrade my video box downstairs to an Xbox One from a 360. I won't do it because I need the old 360 games because my kids love them. And I can't.
They screwed up.
And it's not backwards
That's
compatible.
what's making me switch.
That's
what's making me switch alliances. Is before that, Bill Gates and his gurus. I know Bill Gates wasn't 100% 360. He might have already been off doing charity work, but. But I'm like, what did they do here? They messed up with the stupid Kinect and all the bundle.
Yep.
They overpriced it and didn't compete with the PS4.
True.
They didn't make it backwards compatible, which was not the case with the 360.
Yep.
It was backwards compatible.
Yep.
And this is personal preference. Russ, do you recall how many times have I been on a... Well, first of all, how many times have you seen me on an Xbox 360 lately? Almost never.
Yeah.
And I talk about that in my Hollywood Minute, which I won't make people wait for that. But the basic reason is that my kids are older. The kids are up later. The kids are watching the main TV later. I don't have a den. I don't have a separate area. Because the Xbox 360 is the main living room source of media, guess who's on it? They're watching Netflix. They're watching TV. They're watching video.
Your wife.
Right.
So, yes.
And I'm on my PC, so that's where I'm getting my relaxing time. That's a personal situation.
Yeah, that's cool.
But the other situation is the few times that I log on, Russ, how many times have you said to me, Raef, are you there? Are you okay? You're not saying anything.
Yeah.
I actually don't talk much on the thing. I actually, I like to play solo titles. So if I'm playing Batman, I actually don't want to talk because I can't hear the voices and my friends.
Right. Not fair.
And I don't play that many shooters. I used to play Gears of War and stuff like that, and those were a blast. But really, not playing Titanfall, have no desire to. Not playing Destiny, have no desire to. The only thing I'm going to regret, I think, if I actually get a PS4, is that game Evolve. That
Evolve,
sounds fun.
But is it Evolve on both platforms? I don't think it's.
Well, no, but my point being, if I'm on PS4, I won't be talking to you guys.
Oh, right.
Well, unless I log into my 360.
Yeah, right.
But I won't be playing with you guys.
Right.
So far, that's the only title that I'll probably be bummed that I won't be playing with you guys. Other than that, I don't really play with you guys anyway.
So let me just warn you about one little bit of anecdotal evidence.
Wait, I got to say one more thing.
Yes.
And then to solve my media solution problem, I'm going to keep my 360 as the media outlet.
Yep.
If it dies, I'm going to go a Roku box.
Okay.
So I wondered if you were like, oh no, here's the problem you need to watch about a Roku.
No, there's nothing wrong with Roku. It's a great buy. It's a great price. It does everything you want. If you don't need gaming, and someone came to me and said, I'm dropping cable. I'm not a gamer. What should I get? I would say Roku box because it's like $50 and it has a great interface. It does everything that the Xbox or the PS4 does in terms of streaming media, and it's much cheaper. And it does a great job. So I would definitely go with the Roku box if you're going to do that route. The PS4 has all the streaming services on it. The only thing I would say, and this is totally anecdotal, so, you guys out there, I'm just going on a limb here. I think things are about to change, though. The reason I say that is I've been going to Best Buy a lot, buying lots of stuff for Christmas. I bought a whole new...
I thought Santa brings all that.
He does for the kids, but for myself, I'm too old. Okay. So, Nicole and I actually really got into my brother. I blame my brother John for this, and this could be a whole segment too. And in fact,
she's playing WoW.
No. Oh. My brother got some Sonos speakers over the summer.
Oh, I've heard those are amazing.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Oh my God. So finally, my wife. So here's the tip for all you young married gentlemen who are just getting married. When your wife says to you, you know what, I think we need a new stereo. You don't ask why. You don't even delay. You just run out and get it before she changes her mind. So she was like, hey, this Sonos thing your brother has is really cool. I love how easy it is. I want to be able to have music in any room, all this stuff. Why am I talking about this? So anyway, I'm going to all the Best Buy stuff. The Sonos thing's amazing. I actually talk about it in the news or the app anyway, long story short. But what the big thing about this is that while I'm at Best Buy going, because I'll go there and buy one Sonos speaker, and then we decide we need another one to go back. So I must have went to Best Buy, 10 times in the past since Thanksgiving, which of course is holiday shopping season. Every time I'm in there, I'm seeing giant lines at the checkout because it's post Black Friday and it's Christmas weekend 1, Christmas weekend 2, and in line there's all people with Xboxes, and I'm seeing no PS4s, not even one, or Xbox controllers. It's all Xbox. Now the other thing I think you got to be. And this, people may say I'm a fearmonger or something, but you got to watch this. What just happened to Sony is the kind of thing that can destroy a business. So
right, here's my counter to that.
If you buy a PS4 now, there's a good chance. I mean, if you invest in any Sony products right now, there's a good chance that the company will not be able to support them in the future the way they were used to. I'm just honest opinion. This is just my business opinion now. When a company gets hit that hard, and a company that there's all kinds of stuff's going to come out about them now.
Educate me this, though.
Yeah.
Shop at Target, you're hacked. BOA, hacked. TD Bank North,
no,
hacked.
This is different.
I get a new debit card.
No, I get that.
Every 3 months.
I get that.
Because of some freaking security breach.
This is different. So
tell me, how is this different?
I get that you're desensitized to the fact someone says company A was hacked.
I actually am desensitized.
This isn't, it's going to sound silly. This isn't just, hey, they stole your credit cards. This is, they now have every email that was essentially ever sent by Sony. They have every backroom deal ever done in Hollywood between Sony and other people. They have every bit of information. They have every...
How do we know this?
Accidental. It's been published. They're publishing it now. It's coming out. They have
every... They published that they have this, or they're speculating?
No.
That where they've breached, they could have all this.
Listen to Twit. And then...
I haven't listened to Leo Laporte in a long time.
You should. It's a great show, especially for things like this. The other thing that's interesting about it is I just think they're going to have a hard time supporting... what's going on right now.
Okay, wait, back up the truck here.
Yeah.
So Sony has some email that says, hey, by the way, Assassin's Creed 4 is coming out. What do I care?
No, it's not that. It's like it's like how they make decisions around certain movies in Hollywood.
So,
and some of
how does that affect me owning a PS4?
It might.
I'm asking because I'm ignorant.
I'm saying that if, let's say, and I mean,
you're in the tech field. I don't understand.
It's the content, right? So there's some speculation and there's some rumors, because not all of it's been put out there, that there were some disingenuous activities going on between different people and things like that. So what I'm concerned
in Hollywood, no.
Yeah, I know, right? So what I'm concerned, and the fact that they're caving, I just think there could be fiscal repercussions against Sony over this.
From what I know, just because it's not worth human life. A movie, even if the claims are outlandish, so cancel a movie. That's not worth a plane going into a building.
Well, except that if it works once, it'll happen again. I mean, we can go to the theory.
Well, yeah. There's that whole
whether or not you cater to terrorists, right? Because that's what's happening. But that part I'm less worried about. It's not that. I mean, I'm worried about that, but that's not. I just think there's going to be a backlash. There's going to be issues.
And then what? So the PS4 won't be supported or something?
I think Sony will have financial trouble. I think Sony as a company is in trouble.
Huh.
Yeah, not because it's not a fanboy thing. I think if any company gets hit this hard, it can be really hard to recover from it. It's not the same as they hacked the database and stole.
All right, let me ask it to you this way.
Yeah,
if Microsoft got hacked, would you not buy a One?
If they got hacked to this level, I'd be very worried. But the difference is,
You'd still buy an Xbox One though.
I would have, yes, on adoption day. What I'm warning you about is I think you're at a point where you have enough information to be concerned, and I'd be careful.
I hear you.
Jumping in there, that's all. But to the point though, like Microsoft's a network company. They are the infrastructure and backbone of a lot of businesses. People are trying to hack them all the time, so it's different. I think Sony doesn't. Anyway, it's a long, complicated story. But basically, I'm very worried for them. Not as a hater, I'm just worried for them. I have Sony products. I have Sony TVs and Sony stuff. I'm worried they're
I put this on my Christmas list.
Yeah.
And what I did was I told Santa I wanted an Xbox One.
Yep.
And then about 2 weeks ago, I changed my mind and let Santa know.
Yes.
But Santa's an interesting.
You never know about Santa. He can read your heart.
He could be like, dude, too late, man. It's already in the
Well, he
sack.
can see into your heart though. So even if you say no,
right. Santa could be seeing into my heart.
He knows you really want one. Hey, if you really want one, get it.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not that much money. In the grand scheme of things, 10 years from now, you're not going to feel the $400, So
I got to tell you, I just haven't had the pull. And to be honest with you, I haven't had the pull for a PS4. I got a PS4 sitting there right now.
Well, why are you getting one? Why don't you just stick with your PC? You just upgraded it all.
I'm going to, but I figured if Santa wanted to throw one in his sack.
Okay. All right, so we should talk about, before we're out of time, because I do want to. So I know we just lectured about Sony, and no one's in this.
No, this is the stuff I wanted to talk about.
So we should talk about.
In my mind, we're right on point.
Now, how far are you, without trying to give any spoilers away, in Dragon Age Inquisition?
I'm at the part where the main character dies. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm at the part where you lose. I hate that part.
Yeah, I'm blown away by this game.
I know,
and I don't finish role-playing games. I have not gotten to be able to play as much as I want. Remember in my email, I was freaking out. I'm so busy and whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's not that I come home and I do more work. It's more that my home life, I'm like so busy. So then I'm like running around. And then it gets to that 8:30, 9:30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when it's 5:30, I'm like, I am so going to play Dragon Age tonight. I'm going to play for 3 hours. I don't care.
I know.
It gets to 8:30 and I'm like,
tired.
If I start now, I'm not going to bed till before midnight, and I can't afford to be off my game tomorrow. So I haven't played as much as I wanted, and my weekends are just like infuriated with myself because I signed my kids up for too many sports. Mm-hmm. So I am like Mr. Shuttle Taxi guy.
Yeah, I know.
So the answer to that question is I'm not that far. I think I did one.
What level?
I did one mission off the main map.
Okay, so what level are you right now? That'll help me.
5.
Okay, so you're still early days.
Still early game, but I'm loving it.
So I have to say,
although the dwarf is very weird.
Okay, I
shaped.
So there's definitely an artistic style here that's, different than some other games. So I could see people not loving that or taking some artistic license. Just kind of like D&D 5. He's got an artistic style that some people like, some people don't. But long story short, I know I'm going to sound like I'm overstating this, and I know I get excited about stuff, but this is possibly the best role-playing game I've ever played.
No, I'm going to say, okay, everybody out there knows that Russ loves a lot of games.
Yeah, I do.
Especially if they're new.
It's true.
But when Raef and Russ agree, then it's true.
There's something. Well, because
it's got to be the best role playing game I've ever seen.
And I'm quite a bit. So I'm level 13. Okay, and here's the thing: I'm level 13, but I'm not that far in the main story. So there's a couple big things that happen. You got to choose one direction or another pretty early in the game, like around where level you are now, like around 6 or 7.
Oh, there's a big choice coming up. Cool.
Then there's another big thing that happens, and sort of your base of operations moves.
What?
And sorry if that's a spoiler.
It kind of was,
but it's still early in the game. I mean, if that hasn't happened to you yet, you're still in the.
I'm still in Haven.
You're in the preamble. You're in the
I like
newbie training. And here's the thing about this game: every side quest, and I know that every side quest is so well developed, and it's like a little mini RPG.
You don't feel like you're doing
that. You don't feel like a side quest.
You just feel like you're adventuring.
Just like Mass Effect, and those who played, Knights of the Old
way
Republic,
better than Mass Effect.
Well, but the character development is so good, and the side characters are so good, and watching them develop and do their thing is so good, and the tactical mode and the fact you're controlling an entire party and the decisions you have to make it's just every so often I'm just like, oh man, this is cool.
No, this is what it's like for me.
Yep.
I get bored when the characters, like I don't stand there and talk to my own characters.
Right.
So, but what makes it so I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. I'm just saying for me, that's not what makes it the best.
All right.
What makes it the best is I'm off on a mission. And I don't know how they did this, but the world feels like a world. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm on a side quest. I'm just doing this to get something to then go back to the main quest, where that's the real world that's happening.
Right.
And on top of that, you're kind of like, I'm going along and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do a turn in. I wonder what's up the coast here.
Yep.
Oh, a cave. And when you go into the cave, you really feel like an adventurer adventuring in the cave.
Yeah.
And it might only be 3 rooms. You kill a couple spiders, loot a couple chests, and I'm like, that was a fun little cave to explore. Okay,
it's got all the
main quest.
It's got all the little nibbly bits that are just fantastic. So, it's a role playing game on different levels. So there's your character, right, which you level up.
Yeah,
and it's got.
And I loved being able to pick the different voices.
Yeah, so you've got
huge.
Really good character creation. You can make them look exactly he or her exactly as you want.
Yep.
It's got really, really good party development. So many RPGs don't have good party development. This makes it feel old school to me, because if you remember the Gold Box games by SSI, a Pool of Radiance and all the original D&D role-playing games where you manage a party, because that's what Dungeons & Dragons is. No one solos D&D, right? You're always with a party, and it's player interaction, and it's when you make a decision and your friend across the table says, "You just did what? You just totally you're against my alignment. What am I going to do now?" So that whole, you get that in this game. It's built in. The characters react that way to you. But also, you're building them up. You're leveling them up as well. You're picking their equipment. Then there's great crafting. And it's the kind where all the way through, like you can change the pommel of your sword. You see it change on your sword.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can embed runes in your weapons and everything else. And it's just, so your equipment all levels up in different ways. You can
which makes it feel like a real adventure, that you get a real cool, a customizable weapon,
and you get you have all that. Then when you change it, when your base of operations moves, much like those who played Assassin's Creed, you can level up your home. You can level up your new base of operations.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
all
that.
of a sudden you're like out there in the wilderness looking for. Then you have it goes from like every major D&D campaign you ever dreamed about. Like you started as one little dude, right? And then all of a sudden you've got a party, and then all of a sudden you save a town, and then all of a sudden you're managing an army fighting off an enemy onslaught, and all of a sudden you're fighting dragons, and like that happens. And then you're running an entire organization that has an entire army, sub-armies, spies. You're managing all of them. You're sending them on
that
missions.
Part's cool too.
Then you're running your whole base of operations. Then you're bringing in, refugees. You're finding homes for them. Then you're sending them out on missions. Then you're finding a new guy. Then wait for this. Then it gets better. Then you get a throne, and then when you find a town that a person has committed a crime in and he gets away from you, you send your people after him, he gets dragged in front of you, you go sit in your throne, and you rule on his judgment like frickin' Joffrey. It's awesome. It just doesn't get any cooler. And then, but that's just like the first third of the game, what I just described.
Holy crap.
I mean,
here's what I like to add to
epic.
all of that.
Yes.
So everybody, please, in the Twitter universe, Russ, everybody has to remind me of the following.
Yes.
I think I'm enjoying the game because I am playing it on the easiest mode.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not a good 4-person role-playing game tactician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to level up the mage. I don't care about the rogue in the past. Okay? I'm like, look, just give me my axe. You guys get whatever you want to get. Lever yourselves up. Leave me alone. In the past. But because I'm playing in the easiest level, I'm actually breezing through the combats.
Yep.
Which I never want to pick the easiest level because it says only pick this if you're brand new. I'm like, I'm not brand new. I've been playing this game for 20 years. I'm like, no, pick the easiest level. So what that's doing, Russ, for the first time ever, is letting me advance the story.
But here's where
otherwise I die. Oh, I die again. Oh, I die again. I feel really bad about myself because I'm lame. I can't even do normal level and I quit. So that's been fun. And I think because I'm being successful so easily in the combat, I'm like, let's see what we can do with the mage. For the first time ever, I'm assigning his weapons.
Nice.
I'm a dwarven warrior, of course. Yep. I'm, paying attention to the rogue. I'm like, ooh, the rogue's got a new thing.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's because I'm playing on easy level or if it's because the game is awesome.
And then they tweaked it even cooler. So here's what really gets neat.
I got to talk about the inventory system too.
Oh yeah. So when you get a little farther in the game, so each of the characters, there's like 3 races. You can be a couple flavors of elf. Actually, I think in this version you only be one flavor of elf. You elf, dwarf, and human, right? Yep. And you can also play the big dudes. What are they called?
Quinari.
Yeah, right. You can play them too. So there's 4 races. But here's the thing. There's 3 classes essentially. There's rogue, mage, and fighter. Okay? And what you do is you compete one of those 3 classes. That seems like it. And what happens is when you find other party members to join your party, you basically find rogue, mages, and fighters. And there are different, spec paths your people can take. So
and they made it so easy.
So your rogue can really be good at the bow. He can be really be good with dual wielding swords.
I gotta pause everybody here too. For idiots, gamers like me that don't understand that you really should min-max in video games. They made it so easy. I'm like, oh, here's the frost spec. Okay. And I can pick a couple of specs over here for the mage. It's just the UI is intuitive and easy.
But then it gets even more interesting. So when your venue changes, your base of operation moves, a couple things shift slightly, and all of a sudden every character gets one more spec tree.
Oh, interesting.
But here's the thing. The spec tree they get is unique to each person.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's based on their background. So even if you have 2 rogues in your party, which you will, one of the rogues will have this new bonus spec tree that's all about his or her past. I won't spoil any of these. And the other one will have a spec tree that's got totally different abilities. And all of a sudden, you've got a mage that has necromancy. There is no necromancy class, but you've got one now. And your character can also get some really unique things based on his or her superpowers as well. And so so now you're going between because before you're picking which character to walk with you in the woods because you need a rogue and you can pick rogue A or rogue B, and really the only difference between them is how you spec them out. Maybe made him a bow rogue or a sword rogue, and maybe if you want to hear what they're going to talk about because they'll have friendly banter and they actually kind of pick on each other. It's kind of funny. But
you
now,
always like that stuff.
But now it's even cooler because now that rogue also has a unique skill set that only she has. And the other rogue's got a different unique skill set that only he has. And now you might really want that. Like my one specialized mage, he can actually, when opponents die, he's got this necromancy thing, they come back immediately as a spirit form of themselves and keep fighting with your party. Like no one else can do that but him. Oh my God, this game is good. So just I know I'm gushing all over this game and I know I gush all over a lot of games, but if you are a fantasy RPG fan, I just do not understand how you cannot like this game.
Yep.
It is totally, they fixed whatever concerns you had about Dragon Age, the 2nd edition. They fixed it, and the first one was great, and this game's even better.
And they made it, you don't need to know all the lore.
You don't.
You don't need to go read Wikipedia. You can start with Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't remember all the lore. I played the heck out of the first Dragon Age, probably 3/4 of it. I don't remember a damn thing.
Oh, this was neat too. Raef, did you see this? So you can go to, there's a website called Dragon Age.
Yeah, tell people about
this.
So
I forget the URL. It's in the game
I didn't
box.
do it though, did you?
I did. So it's called Dragon Age Keep. So here's the thing. So in Mass Effect, one of the things that BioWare did, which was awesome, is that if you played Mass Effect 1 on your Xbox 360, and then you played Mass Effect 2 on your Xbox 360, and you played Mass Effect 3 on your Xbox 360, the next version of the game, when you got 2, for example, it would go back and look at your save games from 1 and inform the universe that's in 2 of what happened, because there were different, decision paths you could take in Mass Effect.
Not the real universe, the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah, the Mass Effect universe. Thank you. So, for example, if someone lived or died,
I wanted people to know it didn't send out tweets or something.
Right. So the same thing happens in Dragon Age. So in the original Dragon Age, different people could end up as king depending on what you did. In the original Dragon Age, different main characters could live or die depending on what you did. Different whole races could be wiped out or alive still depending on what you did. And the same in Dragon Age 2 a little bit, and then in Dragon Age 3. So what they did in 3 was, because they're on a new platform now, Xbox One or PS4, it's probably pretty likely that your save games, even if you play the games, won't be there. So they set up this website. And it's really cool. You go in there and it kind of, first of all, it brings you up to speed on the story. So if you're interested in the story and you don't feel like playing those games, you can read through it. Second of all, though, you can go through and pick what your character did at the various decision points from history. And then the game, Dragon Age Inquisition, will read the website and import the decisions you made from the website. So what's cool about this is you can experiment. You can go through and set it up the way you remember you did it so that the universe goes forward the same way you had it. Or you can go through and experiment and say, I always wonder what would have happened if this guy had died or this guy had lived or if I had not saved those people or if I had saved those people. You can switch it around and then see how the universe is going to be that way. So it's really, really cool, really unique way to do it. And I wish they had a way too where if you had a 360, you could go in, export your settings to the website and then go back to the one and import them. So now that EA's got hold of BioWare and they've got the whole online system, I think going forward it'll all link up through the internets. But for now, it was a really neat idea and it was really easy. It turned out that it took you through the questions pretty quickly, and it was a lot of fun. So
I'm sure we're running long.
Yeah,
but it is rare when I come into Dunks these days.
That's right. Have another copy.
The last two things I want to say about it is the inventory system.
Yeah,
I have been frustrated in the past with Dragon Age and Mass Effect. You get all these weapons. I don't want to go back to town and try to figure out what's the best one for me. Who should I give to the mage? Again, I don't know how they did it. The UI is just easier. It's real easy for me to see what to dump as trash, what's a better weapon, what's a schematic that I need. I don't know. I didn't have to YouTube it. I didn't have to ask you. I just made it a lot easier, and that to me makes it more fun because I'm not dinking around in town, emptying my bags and worried that I'm dumping the wrong thing.
Yeah, another cool thing they fixed too, which I didn't, which was awesome, was that they in the original Dragon Age, people remember this. In Dragon Age, the characters that you don't bring with you, so you end up working with a bunch of people, usually 7 to 10 folks in these games, depending on what you do and where you go and who you find, and they become your party members essentially. But you only ever have 3 other people, including yourself, so 4 people total in a party. So you kind of every time you go on an adventure or dungeon delving or out into the wilderness, you pick which of the other 3 folks are going to accompany you from your pack of 7 or 8 folks. When you come back and level up, the other folks you left behind also level up, but they haven't gotten any better equipment. So generally you want to go through and equip them. Now I will tell new folks to Dragon Age this tip. In the end of Dragon Age 1, okay, there's a massive epic battle. Not a spoiler. Big battle. Not a surprise. However, there is a part of this where all the people you've been working through the entire game get split up. And in the final showdown, you flip between your various characters and do these little final battle scenes. And then so that each are kind of like on their own. And first you're playing as this guy and you play. It's really awesome. So here's my tip. Because I have knowledge of that, I discovered that in that game, if I had neglected a character and never given him a better weapon, suddenly in the end game, the guy's my level, but he's got a level 1 sword because I never gave him anything better. And I'm like, oops. So this game around, I've been making sure that all my party members, whether I travel with them often or not, because you tend to gravitate towards certain people depending on your character's class, but also your play style and other things. So I kind of have the A team of adventurers who are my heavy hitters and are I think they perfectly complement each other. And then I have sub guys I grab when I go back and redo lower levels. I grab some other people just to see what they'll say to each other and do. But what I like about this is in the older Dragon Ages, you had to actually make your party and then you could switch between people and give them equipment and then change your party out and bring them back together and make other people give equipment. But in the new Dragon Age, when you're back at your base camps, you can access all your party members as if they're all together in one giant party.
Yes.
So you can flip through really quickly. So you can go to like your stabs, right? And you can flip through all your mages and make sure they've all got the best stabs that you've got in your collection. And then you can switch to your two-handed weapons and go through your fighters that are two-handed fighters versus your sword and board fighters and that kind of thing. So it's really, man, such a good game.
And here's the last thing I want to say.
Why are we recording, Raef? We should be playing Dragon Age right now. This game's so good.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. See the benefits of my PC I'm playing right now.
Nice.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's the problem with it. So that's the problem. Now that I have like these really high-end Surface Pros, I could be, playing Dragon Age remotely. That's kind of cool.
You could be.
But I can't because I play on my Xbox One. So there's a downside to the one. But I
have to say,
too,
that what's making me work is I don't remember Dragon Age that much. You might be like, Raef, you're not remembering. But I remember the story being too highbrow for me to understand.
Yeah.
It was a little too deep, a little too meta, a little too I felt like I had to read Wikipedia. I don't want to say any spoilers, so I'm not going to say too much, but this one just feels more direct. How's that?
It gets even better. Just wait till you get to the point where your base moves, Raef. You got it. Oh, man.
Now, I do have to say, the PC controls, not my favorite. All right?
Yeah.
I'm used to MMOs, double mouse click, you run forward. Mm-hmm. They don't have that. Double mouse click, run forward. That's driving me nuts. So from MMO, I'm used to double mouse click, runs forward, and you just aim with your mouse and he moves. And then, left click does what I'm used to it doing. I can't remember and right. And then this are kind of reversed. So I'm constantly like swinging my sword when I'm supposed to be moving and that stuff. So I'm not used to moving by WASD, in other words. And it's making me do that. Now, I can plug in an Xbox controller, which I haven't done yet.
Yeah, definitely do the controller. I'm loving the Xbox control scheme.
Yeah, I've got to get a wired one. So apparently mine are wireless, but I have a plug-in USB to recharge it, and it's not recognizing it. So I think I've got to get an actual wired one.
Right. All right. Well,
that's all I got to say.
The guy at Dunks is giving us the evil eye, Raef, so we should probably wrap it up.
I think Craig is like banging on the window.
Plus, Craig's banging on the window to get in here. I think he wants to record. We got to go figure out. He's probably very, very excited to do the predictions review episode.
He loves predictions.
He loves the predictions episode. We should go talk to him about that. Okay, we're going to head out now, go talk to Craig about predictions. All right. Yep. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Dunkin' Donuts.
See ya.
Thanks for purchasing a D6G Lost Chapter. Supporting the show helps it grow.